Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Antiques Roadshow. I am Julian Smith, and I am your host today, and we are coming to you live from the historical and beautiful spa town of Royal Leamington Spa town, and in the distance behind me is Warwick Castle, and that's very pleasant on this beautiful sunny day, and we hope that the weather holds and we'll all be enjoying the nice spa waters later on. In the meantime, of course, as is tradition on the Antiques Roadshow, we have some antiques to show you. We've been on the road and now we get to show you the antiques that people have brought to us here at the Antiques Roadshow. So thank you very much for bringing your antiques along, and I'm going to go through them one by one in just a moment, and we're going to see if there's any liquid cash money that we can squeeze out of your old valuables that you've found in the loft or in the basement or possibly in the shed. So let's turn to item number one. So item number one today is a very intriguing item. It's a genuine antique, an antique, and it's not in the best condition. But if we see here, we've got this beautiful tiny doll's head cast in pure porcelain, and that would have been from some kind of child's ornamental toy there, and I mean, just look at the detailing on the face. We've got some blusher there, some rouge, and those eyebrows are dreadfully fierce, aren't they? So that's very exciting. And she's got some kind of skin disease on the back and neck here, which is I'm unfamiliar with the late period Victorian diseases myself, but it's probably an artistic rendering or representation of one of those hideous diseases that they used to have in the past before antibiotics were invented. So there we go, and as we can see that she's missing, of course, her torso. This is merely the head and the hair and the breastplate there, and a bit of the upper shoulder, and a bit of the below the nape of the neck, and just some back, and that is that's all that remains of this poor little doll. She is lovely though. I mean, just look at that lovely glassy-eyed stare. That's genuine craftsmanship, and you really don't find anything like that these days. It is a pity that there is so little of her left. It's just this little bit, which is, it would have been much more interesting if she came with complete. Would have been ideal, but even with the rest of the body, or perhaps a finger or some toes. I wonder if she was wearing sandals or leggings or anything like that, or I don't know. It's so difficult to speculate as to exactly what she would have been wearing, or if she was nude. Highly unlikely, that scenario, given that she was from the Victorian era, and of course it is a bit of a myth that the Victorians were so sexually repressed that they were not permitted to see even the merest hint of flesh below the nose. Obviously, you may have read or learned about in school the idea that even a table's legs or the legs of a piano would have to be covered, for they were too indecent to be seen in polite society in the Victorian era. But that's simply not true. I mean, many of the pianos wore shorts, dungaree shorts possibly. Certainly the American pianos of that era, mini skirts on tables were perfectly common. Obviously, you will now be more familiar with a tablecloth that comes to about the height of where the mini skirt would have been, but on the human peoples of the Victorian era, where our little dolly friend would have come from, I mean, you know, they obviously did see each other at least partially naked in order to procreate, and here we all are today. So thank you, great grandmummy and grandpapa, for getting nude and dirty and doing the business, and we have all our lives very literally to be thankful for that. So yes, again, highly unlikely that this little dolly would have been completely nude, but it's worth thinking about, isn't it? I'm going to have a nice think about that a bit later on. But as for valuation, how much were you hoping to get for it? Something like £100 or £500? Unfortunately, as she is just a head, and quite a diseased-looking specimen at that, it's not really worth anything, I'm afraid. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's simply not worth anything, which is, I'm sorry about that. But thank you very much. It's been very fascinating to speculate on her history. So there we go. Just set it down there. What a lovely sound. I love the sound of porcelain on wood. It's just a gentle, it's like marbles. That's a lovely sound, but unfortunately worthless. So, okay, moving on, we have the next item that you brought in, which is quite a fascinating, I think it's an original. It's this wooden stick, and now I can't remember exactly the pronunciation, so I'm not even going to try, but there is a form of licorice stick that you used to be able to buy in vegan health food shops, and the licorice wooden stick, and it was about this length. You could sort of use it as a sort of hippie toothbrush, which if you think about it, before toothbrushes were invented, you would just have a little stick. Before toothpaste as well, you would just have a little stick with like a paintbrush on the end, and you could just, couldn't you, like that? And then this licorice stick was certainly around after the invention of toothpaste. I remember using one myself as a boy, but the idea of the licorice stick would be that you could, oh, listen, that's a lovely, listen to that. The licorice stick, you would chew upon it, and that would sort of brush your teeth for you, which was obviously deeply ineffective, and I was bullied terribly at school for having essentially a toddler halitosis. But yes, this is extremely evocative of that sort of primitive toothbrush style sort of thing, which, I mean, it's really a lovely specimen. I don't know that it is a toothbrush, but it's certainly shaped like what one of those would be shaped like. And it's really in very nice condition, considering, unfortunately, I don't know if you can make out, but there is a crack running the entire circumference of the stick at this end, and unfortunately that does knock the value down quite significantly. So I mean, were you hoping this would be worth about £1,000, maybe 1,500? Tragically, owing to the crack there, we're not going to be able to value this at much more than 0, I'm afraid. That's a real pity. But had you taken better care of it, then. But you know, better luck next time. So we're going to move on to literature next. I believe you've brought in for us a lovely volume, which is this beautiful red canvas-bound book called Dog Crusoe, which of course was written by Hans Christian Andersen, obviously, and it's one of his fairy tales. Oh no, my mistake. I'm usually an expert in this field, but I stand corrected. It's a volume by Ballantyne, which is that is a surprise. Usually the Dog series of novels were Hans Christian Andersen, but this is, oh yes, of course, it says on the spine as well, Ballantyne. That's very exciting. That makes this quite a rarity. The dog market was usually taken up by Andersen, so this is very exciting. And obviously this has been remaindered at some point, because you can see it was in a bookshop once for 2 shillings, which I'm just trying to work out the modern equivalent. Well, the modern equivalent is not £4.65, but obviously it's been in another bookshop later on for £4.65. So, oh, that's got. Just listen to those pages. That's excellent condition. This is how you test the condition of the pages of an older book. That's lovely. That's honestly just feel the print, feel the type. That's because what you would like to do, of course, is as you're reading, run your finger over the words, especially if you're like, the failure coupled with the excitement proved too much for Dick. He could not resist discharging his second barrel at the brute's head as it came on. This is quite racy stuff, isn't it? He might as well have fired at a brick wall. It shook its shaggy front, and with a hideous bellow thundered forward. Again Dick sprang to one side, but in doing so a tuft of grass or a stone caught his foot, and he fell heavily to the ground. So, you see what I was doing there is just reading along with my finger, pointing out the words that were to come next, and you can really feel the fine quality of the print and of the paper. You want a nice smooth gradient on the paper for when you're running your finger across it, and of course on the picture pages you have a bit of a slight roughness to this paper, and this paper is extremely fine, like photography paper, so that's very exciting. And let's have a look at the information. So this is unfortunate. It goes straight in. There's no. Where's the frontispiece? Now this is bizarre. There's usually at the front of books a catalogue number or some indication that the book was printed in an edition. Like they say first edition. That means usually that you would have a number indicating that at the front of the book. And there is absolutely no information here whatsoever. It's an empty page. It's the title, the subtitle, the author, the publisher, and then a big blank gap where there should be all this information. And I'm not hiding it from you, if you look, blank pages, I suspect this damage here, that's where it would have been. So it's either been torn out or it's a forgery. So tragically, although this is a very intriguing item, and I do appreciate you having brought it along to me to fondle and caress, tragically it is worthless. So I am sorry about that. Right, moving on, we have yes. Well, this is instantly fascinating to me. This is an Irish coffee glass, and it has no maker's mark, but it does have this lovely golden rim, and I don't know if you can see, it's got this design which shows you exactly how much of the constituent parts of an Irish coffee that you're supposed to have. And you have whiskey here for about what they would call a finger, another finger of sugar, about 2 fingers of coffee, and then say a finger of cream, which sounds rude, but it isn't. And that's a really lovely. Obviously, this would have come as part of a set, because you can have different types of alcoholic liqueur coffees. This is an Irish coffee with whiskey, but you can have I forget what they're called. They might be names of other countries. There might be like an Italian coffee with an amaretto. I know that you can get different types of liqueur coffees, but I don't remember their names. But you would have originally had them all as part of a set. These yes, you can really hear the quality in that glasswork, can't you? Yes, that's really very good. I do like that a lot. This is unfortunately not an antique. This is extremely modern. This might have come from Starbucks or Costa Coffee as part of a promotion, and as such is entirely devoid of value, but being a large fan of Irish coffee, by which I mean I'm a fan of Irish coffee largely. I'm not a large man. I'm not rotund or plump or anything like that, I don't think, but sorry, I just wanted to be clear. It's of personal interest to me, but value-wise, I mean, this is only a couple of years old, so I don't know why you bothered me with this. But as I say, I am grateful that you did, because I might buy this off you myself, but only for 50 pence or something like that, because as I say, it's virtually worthless. So there we go. And then we move on to this delightful item here, which, if I can just spin it around, you'll be able to see the detailing on this back panel here is absolutely beautiful. And then, yes, look at those feet. And I wonder if, no, the drawers don't open themselves. That is a shame. This is, obviously, it's a mid-century piece, and the wood detailing is fantastic. Had it have been full size, then obviously it would have been functional as a sideboard or a chest of drawers, but unfortunately this is far too small to be of any practical use to anyone. But it is it is beautiful, but useless. And of course, as the poet said, nothing useless can be truly beautiful. But I mean, this comes pretty close, doesn't it? It is a shame that the drawers don't open at all. You could keep a thimble of water or a rat's monocle in there, some kind of rodentia. Could keep a nut, maybe for a squirrel or something like that in there. But tragically, it's I do wonder what's inside, if anything, though. I wonder if it's hollow inside. It doesn't sound too hollow, but that's well, it's beautiful. But again, I can't give you a valuation on that because it's completely no good, I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. Do you have any more items? You have one more item. Excellent. Oh, well, this is intriguing. Now this I think technically does count as an antique now, given that it is well over 20 years old. Oh yes, 1995. I mean now 2017. So this is, yes, this is definitely vintage. It is the Jack and Sarah CD soundtrack, which oh, just listen to that lovely old jewel case compact disc. There we go. And let's just check it. Yes, this is the true mark of a good. If I may, I'm just going to be as gentle as I can with it in deconstructing it to its constituent parts. So let's be careful there. Just pop out the tray, and if you can see here, it's got the original, in the corners, the original compact disc logos just there, where it says compact disc digital audio. How naive we were in those days, but that's excellent condition there. And yes, look at that, there's minor yellowing and scuffing to the back inlay case there, but that's just splendid. And let's take a look at the disc itself. So here we have on the front the detailing. It's a bit dusty, but that's fine, it's an antique. And on the back, now we do have some minor scratches on the back, and that is a shame. But it does mean that it is come from a good home and it's been well loved. So that is. I was going so well, everything was in pristine condition, but there are some scratches on that, on the back of the disc, and let's just pop out the booklet. Here we go. And there's not a tear on it. It's still in perfect condition, with some lovely photographs from the film there. Isn't she lovely? Richard E. Grant, isn't she lovely? There we go. And yes, that's in fine condition. And what you find with a lot of jewel cases is usually one or both of these are snapped off, these little arms here, but that's still in absolute splendid nick. There we go, pop that back. So yes, I guess that you want me to tell you that it's worth quite a lot of money, and unfortunately, because of the scratches on the back of the disc itself, this is really only going to be worth about £4,500. So obviously, if the disc was in better condition, it would be a lot more. But you know, it's not to be sniffed at. £4,500. So well, a bit of a letdown on your other items, but that's excellent condition, yes. Fantastic. There we have it. thank you very much for coming to the Antiques Roadshow today. Leamington Spa, Royal Leamington Spa, a lovely, lovely place, and I highly recommend you visit. Again, the castle in the distance. I will be going there to visit some more antiques, by which I mean the people that work at the National Trust. And that's all for this week. Join us next week when we will be coming to you live from Royal Tunbridge Wells. Until then, goodbye. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you liked it, please be sure to subscribe. And if you really liked it, why not check out my Patreon?